You know, it's 12:30 on a work night, as you'll see here in a second, and here I am churning out YouTube videos. Anyway, some of you might remember the HP dv5000 laptop, which you can see sitting right there, courtesy of Ross ACB. I can't remember when I picked that up, but I've had it for a while. Today, we have its smaller cousin, the HP dv5000. And smaller cousin it is. This is, I believe, a 15-inch laptop as opposed to 17. It might even only be 14 inches. But it shares the same overall design. You still get the Altec Lansing speakers. It still has the same indicators on the front, which you may or may not be able to see. It's kind of dirty, but that's okay. If we go ahead and flip it around, I believe the port layout's the same. You'll have to watch the dv8000 video in order to be able to tell, because I don't feel like getting it down at this particular point in time. But we get, I believe that's a PCMCIA card slot. It's actually easier to do it this way. We get SD card reader, memory stick pro, MMC card, smart media, and XD card. There's a 1394B port there, 2 USB, expansion port 2, whatever that means, some proprietary expansion thing, Ethernet, S-Video, BGA, Kensington lock. Curiously, unless it's on the other side, which it could be. Yeah, it is. Alright, I was going to say, no modem would have been a very interesting thing for something this old. But there it is, the modem. There's the power input. Here is the dual-layer DVD burner. Not bad. This is an express card slot right here. You get a USB, one more USB port, and a headphone and microphone jack. If we turn on the bottom, we can see it is missing the battery. I forgot to mention, this did come from the thrift store. And I gave, I think it was $10 for it. Which is probably about $15 too much, but whatever. Now this is very interesting. First on scene. Focus. Hocus pocus focus. There we go. I wonder if that website is still active. Nice P-Touch label though. This one only has a single hard drive, but it is serial ATA. I have looked up at least some of the specifications on this. I think it uses DDR2 memory. I think it's new enough that it's DDR2. But I will correct that or confirm that and let you know either as a video title or in the video description, one of the two. It's got a Windows XP Home Edition COA. Now you can see here that this is an HP dv5230CA dv5000. So you can see I also took out these doors so we could get a closer look at what's installed. I think this hard drive is enclosed in here, so I don't think we're going to be able to get too much of a look at that. And I'm going to have to remove these two screws in order to do that. But yeah, no, it looks like I'm going to have to pull this cage apart in order to look at that drive. So we'll just go ahead and power it up if it actually happens to work. There is a drive there though, so that's good to see. But the thing that interested me the most was to see whether or not this thing had RAM in it. It looks like it does, and what's more, it looks like it's been upgraded. Let's go ahead and have a look here. This is probably the original module. Are we going to focus or what? Come on. I know you can do it, camera. It's actually a DDR2 system, which kind of surprised me for something that is a Core Duo. Because that's what this thing is. This is a Core Duo, not a Core 2 Duo. It's a very important distinction that you need to make that most people don't. In fact, I didn't even make that distinction when I first had my first Core Duo machine, which I made a video of. I think it's a Tecra M8. It's Toshiba Tecra of some description or another. A8? I think it's an M8. Anyway, this is probably the original module here. And this is what? What are you? An upgrade module. My guess is 1 gig. Yep, I was right. 1 gigabyte. Samsung PC2 5300. So at least they're matched speed. But they're not the same density, so... I don't know. We'll just go ahead and put these back where they came from. We'll power up the machine, see if it works. I honestly bet, considering I gave $9 for this thing at the thrift store, which was probably about $15 too much, but there's probably something wrong with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put these doors back on. I don't have the battery, which sucks. And I didn't get a power supply with it either, but the power supply for the dv5000 will work just fine. Alright. Could use a little bit of a cleaning, but otherwise not in too bad a shape. Because it's a smaller laptop, it does not have the number pad that the dv8000 does. I think this control layout up here is a little bit simplified. That's a little smaller. I mean, it's smaller. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it looks like there should have been a sticker here. I think this has the NVIDIA graphics, and I don't know how that makes me feel. That means it could have a problem, being as old as this is. You all know about the infamous BGA cracking problems that particularly, I think it was the G84 and the G86 chipsets from NVIDIA that had that problem. Probably a few others as well. I know that ATI had problems with some of their chips as well. They got hot in the solder joints on the BGA, because it was very early days for BGA. It wasn't perfected yet. The solder joints cracked and you had a problem. Anyway, Centrino Duo, which I think means it's got the, I always thought that meant Intel graphics, Intel CPU, and Intel wireless, but I guess it just applies to the wireless and the CPU, I don't know. But it's plugged in, so let's see if it actually happens to work. I get the fan full blast. That doesn't look very promising. I see some lines on the screen. Yeah, that doesn't look very promising. Oh, here we go. I think it might, oh, that's great. Smart failure predicted on hard disk 2. I think it might actually, yeah, I think the display cable's a little messed up on this, but there might be more problems than that. Either way, press F1 to continue. Sure. It won't actually let me do that. I don't know. I think I lost the system here. It's trying to boot something, though. Let me investigate. I managed to get it in the system setup, but I think we definitely have an issue with the display cable on this, so I'm probably going to have to pull the laptop apart in order to fix that, because you can see it's really kind of freaking out. So I don't know about keeping this one. I may check the RAM. But yeah, we can get something of an idea as to the specs anyway. But it seems to not like it when I lift it all the way open. Come on, you piece of junk. There we go. Sort of. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit more investigation on this, I think. Okay, well, I took out the 512 megabyte memory module, and now it seems to be working, so I don't know. That's very weird. But we could see here, we are indeed genuine Intel T2300, which is the same CPU that Tecra M8 has, or Tecra A8, whatever it actually happens to be. I don't remember. But, got 1 gig of RAM, we're down to 1 gig. Let's see. I don't think it really tells us anything about the hard drive situation, or really anything else. I see some funky stuff going on with the display again. And, yeah, here we go with this. Smart failure predicted on hard disk 2. Oh, it says hard disk 2, there's only one drive. Let's continue and see what it does. Uh-oh. Looks like Windows XP. Start Windows normally. I think I'm going to pull the bezel off of this and see if I can maybe reseat the display cable. I don't know if it's in the display itself or if it's just on the motherboard. Hopefully it's just on the motherboard. Because I'm really not... If I have to pull this apart, I don't think I'm going to invest the time and effort. Honestly. Or just use it as a half-top. Or get rid of it. Be the other option. don't know, if they're being screwed, that sure booted up pretty quickly. Alright. So we're going to take a bet here. Do we have any passwords on this machine? Let's try Joy Horty. No password. Security, folks. And look at this. Personal data left right on the desktop. That looks very legitimate. Which this won't focus on. PC Cleaner Pro. The Wi-Fi is on, but it's not on my network. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the VGA monitor and see if the problems persist. That'll tell me if it's the GPU or if it's the display panel. Now, as you can see, the problem goes away when I use the external display, so obviously it's a display issue, so I'm going to have to pull the bezel off of this and see if I can figure that out. I'm going to turn the wireless off just because there's no point in having it on. I don't know if that really works. So let's see, what do we have here? Well, MSN isn't usually there, I don't think. It might be. Looks like Office 2003, not a bad choice. Rogers Online Protection, that's great. System recovery, probably HP supplied. Because this looks like it is the factory build. Huh. PC recovery disk creator, I'm tempted, you know. Yep, Office 2003. Dell printers. Yuck. Anyway. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm very good at that, apparently. Let's see how much data is on this system. I'm going to go ahead and just open up the display properties. This thing here. Well, it is running Service Pack 3. So it's at least somewhat fully up to date. Go ahead into there. That's a very good computer name. Come on, camera. There we go. So let's see. This isn't an administrator account, so I guess the other account's the admin. HP recovery. What's on here? What is this? I don't know. It's a folder. Do not delete or alter these files. Alright, well, anyway. So, there's about 30 gigs used, so quite a bit of personal information. I'm going to snoop around for a bit and see what I can find. Alright, so I had a little quick look at some of the things on here. Like I said, this is not the administrator account. I guess the other one is. Well, whatever the case may be, a lot of pictures. But it doesn't look like this thing's really been actively used since 2012, 2013. There were some files in here from 2014 as well. The end of 2014. So let's go ahead and log off. Maybe the trackpad doesn't like me. Anyway. Raleigh's computer. You know, I feel kind of bad about sharing these usernames. Let alone, you know, anything else. I'm not really going to share any of the personal data. Oh, look at this. Even more of it. Oh, 2017. So, 2016, 2016. Again, I'm not really going to share anything further from that. I don't think there really is anything else further to share. Across Canada. I think there's some more files on here than it's really letting on. Anyway, I'm going to have to pull the display bezel apart. Actually, you know what? Let's do that on video. No, you only live once. It's already about 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what? I'll save that for another video. So I got a couple other things I want to work on tonight. So that is going to do it for this video. I will need to enact a fix on this. If I do actually decide to keep it, I may not. Just because it's a Core Duo. I don't really need any more Core Duo systems. So, but that's really going to do it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.